This has always been a lie all your life. They told you that expressing your emotions makes you real, that reacting proves you care, that being passionate is a strength. But look around. How has that worked out for most men? You see them every day. The guy who snaps at his boss and loses his job, the man who blows up at his woman and watches her lose respect for him, the one who gets baited into a fight and ruins his own future. Weak men let their emotions control them, and weak men get crushed. Here's the hard truth. The world is testing you. Every single day. Your boss, your woman, your so-called friends, even strangers, they all want to see if you'll break. They want to see if they can make you flinch, make you react, make you expose yourself. And when you do, you lose. Because the moment you give them a reaction, they own you. You just showed them exactly how to control you. Right now, you might think you're in control, but you're not. Your emotions dictate your actions. Society has programmed you to be impulsive, to lash out, to speak your truth. But what they don't tell you is that this is the fastest way to lose power. Every great man in history, every high-value man you admire, has mastered the art of staying calm under pressure. They don't react. They control the frame. And because of that, they dictate reality. What about you? When someone disrespects you, do you hold your ground or explode like a fool? When your woman tests you, do you stay unfazed or start whining, begging for validation? When life throws pressure at you, do you handle it like a man, or do you crumble? You think being calm is weak? No. Losing control is weak. Getting emotional is weak. Being manipulated is weak. And if you don't fix this now, you'll spend your life being a pawn in someone else's game. This is where most men stay stuck. They don't even realize they're being played. But you have a choice. Either you learn to control yourself, or the world will control you. And that's exactly what I'm here to teach you. Welcome to Man Code, the only place where men hear what they need to hear, not what makes them feel good. This isn't for everyone. It's for men serious about leveling up. Weak men don't belong here. If you're ready to become unshakable, keep watching. If not, go back to your distractions and keep losing. Why staying calm is the ultimate power. You ever notice how the world pushes your buttons? It's not random. It's intentional. People test you, your woman, your boss, even random strangers. They poke at you, provoke you, just to see what kind of man you are. And most men fail these tests without even realizing it. They take the bait. They get defensive. They react. And the second they do, they lose control of the frame. Women do this all the time. She'll say something disrespectful just to see if you can hold your ground. If you react emotionally, get angry, start explaining yourself, or try to prove something, she immediately loses respect. She knows she owns your emotions. But if you stay calm, unfazed, like her words didn't even scratch the surface, now she's intrigued. Now you're in control. Same thing happens in business. Your boss calls you out in a meeting. Your competition talks down to you. Most men scramble to defend themselves, to fight back. The strong man does something different. He pauses. He processes. He stays composed. That's the man people listen to. That's the man who commands respect. Because here's the truth, reactive men are easy to control. The angrier you get, the more predictable you become. People can push you in any direction they want just by triggering your emotions. But the man who stays calm, he's a mystery. He's dangerous. You don't know what he's thinking, and that unsettles people. Look at history. The most powerful men, the ones who dominated their fields, all had this one trait: composure under pressure. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, ruled with absolute discipline, never letting emotion cloud his judgment. Jocko Willink, a Navy SEAL, talks about staying calm in the most brutal war zones, Because losing control in combat means death. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, had opponents trash-talking, pushing him, trying to get in his head. They failed every time. Why? Because he never reacted emotionally. He let his actions speak. This is what separates men who control their destiny from men who get controlled by it. And the truth is, most men today are on the losing side. They're weak because they were never taught how to master themselves. They think being loud, being aggressive, makes them strong. No. The real power move is staying calm when the world expects you to break. So ask yourself, when life tests you, do you pass or do you fold? Because whether you like it or not, the tests are coming. And if you keep reacting like every other weak man, you'll keep getting walked over, disrespected, and controlled. But if you can master the art of composure, you become unstoppable. Now you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how do I actually do it? That's what we're breaking down next, because staying calm isn't just about attitude. It's about rewiring your entire mindset. And right now, you're probably programmed to fail. Let's fix that. The truth about why you react. You weren't born weak, you were trained to be weak. Since childhood, everything around you has conditioned you to be emotional, impulsive, and easily manipulated. Your upbringing, social media, modern culture, they all push the same agenda. Act on your feelings. Speak your truth. React immediately. And like a fool, you obey. Think about it. When you were a kid, how were you taught to handle emotions? You probably weren't. Either you were coddled, told it's okay to cry, to complain, to throw tantrums, or you were left to figure it out on your own, never developing real emotional discipline. And now, as a man, you're stuck in a cycle of reacting instead of thinking. Social media made it worse. Every platform is designed to trigger you, to make you feel something and react instantly. Notifications, outrage, arguments, cheap dopamine, it's all engineered to keep you emotionally unstable. The more you react, the more you engage. And the more you engage, the weaker you become. Because now, you're addicted to the reaction. You need to feel something all the time, so when real life tests you, you don't know how to stay still. But here's the hardest pill to swallow. Most of the time, when you react, it's not because you're strong, it's because you're insecure. You need external validation. You seek approval. You fear rejection. That's why you snap at someone when they question you. That's why you argue with your woman instead of holding your ground. That's why you blurt out answers in a negotiation instead of sitting in silence, making the other person sweat. You think you're defending yourself, but in reality, you're exposing your weakness. A reactive man is an emotional child in a grown man's body. He hasn't mastered himself, so the world plays him like a puppet. But a calm man? He doesn't need approval. He doesn't care about validation. He knows his worth, and that confidence makes him untouchable. Let's break it down. In relationships, women will test you. It's in their nature. She'll say something just to see if you'll lose your cool. If you do, she knows you're weak. But if you stay calm, she respects you, because now she knows she can't shake you. In business, power goes to the one who controls the conversation. The man who talks the least wins. In negotiations, the calmest person dictates the pace. Weak men feel the need to fill every silence, explain themselves, justify their worth. Strong men don't. They sit in the discomfort and let the other person break first. In conflict, the one who keeps his composure always has the upper hand. When a man loses control in an argument or a fight, he's already lost. Look at street fights. Who wins? Not the guy yelling the loudest. It's the one who's calm, collected, calculating his moves. So now, ask yourself, are you the calm man or the emotional man? Because if you don't learn to control yourself, someone else will. And the worst part? You won't even realize it's happening. The good news? This is something you can fix. But it's not easy. It requires unlearning everything you've been programmed to believe and building a new foundation of self-control. And that's exactly what we're getting into next. Because the truth is, there's a formula to mastering your emotions. And once you learn it, you'll never be controlled again. The Calmness Blueprint. How to train unshakable composure. You don't just wake up one day and become a calm, unshakable man. It's built. It's trained. And if you don't actively work on it, you will always be a slave to your emotions. Always reacting, always getting played, always losing control at the exact moment you need it most. But here's the secret. When you master your emotions, you master the world. People expect you to be weak. They expect you to react. So when you don't, when you disappoint them, it shakes them to their core. They start to respect you in a way they never did before. But this isn't just about looking cool or having a poker face. This is about rewiring your brain so that calmness becomes your natural state. Let's break it down. Step 1. Reframe your mindset. Most men fail before they even start because they take everything personally. Someone insults them, they feel attacked. A woman tests them, they get defensive. A stranger disrespects them, they explode. But here's the truth. 99% of what people say and do has nothing to do with you. Their reactions are a projection of their own insecurities, fears, and emotions. The moment you realize this, you stop playing their game. Instead of reacting, start observing. Become the stoic observer, the man who sees things for what they are, not what his emotions make them out to be. When someone tests you, they're not attacking you, they're revealing themselves. Watch them. Study them. Control the way you interpret situations, and you'll start to notice something. Most people are emotionally weak, and they're waiting for you to break. Don't give them the satisfaction. Step 2. Master the art of pausing. Weak men react instantly. Strong men pause. And that pause, that moment of silence before you speak or act, is the difference between power and submission. The 3-second rule is simple. Anytime you feel triggered, pause for 3 seconds before responding. This short circuit rewires your brain to think instead of react. It's the difference between saying something stupid in an argument and keeping your leverage. Between losing your composure in a negotiation and making the other person sweat. Between getting emotionally played and staying in control. But there's more. Control your breathing, and you control your emotions. The moment you feel your blood rising, slow your breath. Inhale deep through your nose, hold for a second, then exhale slowly. It forces your body to calm down, and when your body is calm, your mind follows. And then there's silence, your most underrated weapon. The less you say, the more others fill in the gaps. They start over-explaining, revealing their weaknesses. In business, in relationships, in life, silence is a power move. Step 3. Train your nervous system for calmness. You can't just think your way to calmness. Your body needs to be trained for it. That's where most men fail. They understand the concept, but when real pressure hits, they fold, because their body isn't conditioned for stress. Start with cold showers. Every morning, force yourself under freezing water. It's brutal, but it trains your nervous system to handle discomfort. You'll feel the panic rise, but instead of reacting, you'll breathe through it. Over time, this rewires your brain. Pressure no longer controls you. You control it. Next, physical training. A weak body leads to a weak mind. If you're out of shape, you lack discipline. And if you lack discipline, you lack control. Lift heavy. Push your limits. Train like a man who's preparing for war, because in many ways, you are. And finally, meditation. Not for spirituality, but for control. 10 minutes a day. Sit still and focus on your breath. That's it. You'll realize how wild and impulsive your mind is, how easily it jumps to distractions. But as you keep practicing, you'll gain control over your thoughts, which means you gain control over your emotions. Step 4. Social and real-world application. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Once you've built this foundation, you start to see the world differently. You realize that most men are predictable, easy to manipulate, easy to break. But you're unreadable, unpredictable. That's your advantage. Never let people know what gets under your skin. Keep them guessing. If they think they have you figured out, they'll try to control you. But when they don't, they fear you. Control the frame. The calmest man in the room dictates the energy. If you stay cool under pressure, others will follow your lead. Your confidence will be undeniable. And finally, use the power of disappointment. When a man gets angry, it shows weakness. But when a man simply looks at someone with quiet disapproval, it cuts deeper than any outburst ever could. When people know they've let you down, they work twice as hard to earn your respect. This is how you become unshakable. This is how you become the kind of man who commands respect without saying a word. But the real question is, are you willing to do what it takes? Because most won't. Most will hear this, nod their heads, and go right back to reacting like children. But if you're different, if you're serious about leveling up, then you already know what comes next. You start today. Because the world isn't waiting for you to get your emotions under control. It's already testing you. The only question is, will you pass the test? Test yourself. Everything you've heard so far is just theory, until you prove it. Because knowing how to stay calm isn't the same as actually doing it. When life hits you with real pressure, your instincts will try to take over. You'll want to react, to lash out, to prove something. And that's exactly when you need to apply what you've learned. So here's your final challenge. For the next 7 days, you're going to test yourself. This is where you find out if you're just another guy who watches self-improvement videos or if you're the kind of man who actually levels up. 1. Avoid emotional reactions for a week. This is going to be harder than you think. No anger. No frustration. No defensive comebacks. No proving a point just to feed your ego. Whether it's someone cutting you off in traffic, your boss being a pain, or your girl testing you, stay composed. The goal is simple. Do not react emotionally to anything. You'll start noticing something. The moment you stop reacting, people lose their power over you. They can't push your buttons anymore. And once you realize that, you'll wonder why you ever let them in the first place. 2. Slow down your responses in conversations. Most men talk too fast because they're uncomfortable with silence. They feel the need to fill every gap, to explain themselves, to seek approval. That ends now. For the next 7 days, speak 20% slower. Pause before answering. Let other people sit in the silence. Watch how they start fidgeting, over-explaining, or trying to impress you. The less you say, the more impact your words will have. This will feel weird at first. You'll want to rush. But if you stay disciplined, you'll see the shift. People will start leaning in when you speak. They'll take you more seriously. They'll respect your presence in a way they never did before. 3. Practice the calm face in the mirror. Your emotions show up in your face before you even realize it. Micro-expressions, those tiny shifts in your eyebrows, jaw, and eyes, can betray you in an instant. That's why you need to train them. Stand in front of a mirror. Picture someone insulting you, doubting you, trying to make you lose control. Now, keep your face completely neutral. No twitching, no smirking, no tightening of the jaw. Just pure, unreadable calm. This might seem small, but it's a game changer. When you control your face, you control how the world perceives you. And when people can't read you, they can't manipulate you. 4. Expose yourself to stress. You don't get strong by avoiding resistance. You get strong by facing it head-on. That means cold showers, difficult conversations, situations that make you uncomfortable. Every morning, step into freezing water and breathe through it. Every day, put yourself in one uncomfortable situation. Maybe it's speaking up when you normally wouldn't, staying silent when you'd usually defend yourself, or walking into a room like you own it even when you don't feel like you do. The key is simple. No matter what happens, you stay calm. No flinching. No cracking. Just control. The real question: will you follow through? Most men won't do this. They'll hear these steps, nod along, and go right back to reacting like everyone else. But you have a choice. You can either stay the same, weak, emotional, easily controlled, or you can step up and become the kind of man who commands respect without saying a word. So, are you going to pass the test? Or are you going to fold the second life applies pressure? The next 7 days will give you the answer. The cost of staying weak. The world expects you to be weak. Every time you react, every time you let emotions control you, every time you break under pressure, you prove them right. That's what they want. They want you impulsive, distracted, easy to manipulate. Because a man who can't control himself will always be controlled by something else. But the second you stop reacting, the second you master yourself, you become untouchable. Suddenly, the same people who tried to shake you are scrambling to earn your respect. The ones who doubted you start watching you. And the ones who tested you, they fall in line. Look around you. Most men will never get this. They'll keep making the same mistakes, living the same predictable cycle, angry at the world, frustrated with their lives, never realizing they're the problem. They could change, but they won't. Because they don't have the discipline. They don't have the courage. So the question is, do you? If you've made it this far, you have two options. You either close this video and go back to the way things were, reactive, emotional, weak, or you step up and actually do something about it. If you're serious about becoming an unshakable man, subscribe right now. Drop a comment on the hardest situation where you stayed calm or lost control, and let's discuss. The weak ones won't do it. They'll hesitate, overthink, make excuses. The strong ones, they take action. So prove it.